Welcome to Chris's Storytelling Corner. My name is Christopher Moldong, and I am an author specializing in the fantasy genre. Today, I will do manga reviews for Negima, volumes 17 to 20. Next week, I will review volumes 21 to 24. Also, check out my reading of Shattered Glass, pages 5 to 9. You can check out my author's website at www.chrismoldon.com. If you have an e-reader, you can buy my works on amazon.com or a PDF copy on my website, starting with my first novel, a fantasy adventure called The Mustard Prince in the Convict Kingdom, for $4.99. Also, for $1.99, you can buy my short stories and short story collections, starting with the fantasy horror short story The Land of the Wooden Statues. Then there's the Horror Collection, which is a compilation of 3 of my gothic horror short stories, and the Fantasy Fable Collection, which is a compilation of 4 of my Fantasy Fable short stories. You can check out my Twitter page and author's Facebook page. Links to all these will be provided on the descriptions if you're reading this on like YouTube, SoundCloud, or Podbean. And also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you're on YouTube, or follow this channel if you're listening to this on SoundCloud, iTunes, or Podbean. Okay, the way this works is I will do a pretty detailed recap of what happens in each volume, and then I will give my personal thoughts on each volume, and do that for these 4 volumes. So let's start with volume 17. The volume starts with Evangeline watching the battle between Mohora and the robot army. Takahata Sensei comes and destroys one of the giant robots. A sniper shoots at Takahata, and it's Mana. The bullets, when they hit, take the person who was hit 3 hours into the future. Chao fights against Takahata Sensei, Asuna, and Setsuna, with Misora there but not really fighting. Back at the library, Negi awakens and is ready to fight. Chisame tests out her artifact, which is a magical girl wand. She asks help from Ayaka and Make. So they want to follow Negi, but Chisame says, "Oh, I need your help." So they don't follow Negi and instead help Chisame. Negi, Kaede, Kufe, Yue, Haruna, and Nadoka go out to battle. Chao defeats Asuna and Setsuna with Takahata Sensei still standing. He hesitates for a second, and Chao gets behind him and teleports him 3 hours into the future. Misora retreats carrying Asuna and Setsuna. A giant hologram of Chao shows herself, and she reveals herself as the final boss and leader of the robot army. She tells the students that they are instantly disqualified if they are hit with a certain bullet, and will be taken to a special area where they will sleep through the rest of the festival. A special reward will be given to whoever finds Chao first. Chisame tells Ayaka and Make that if the students don't win, then Negi will be engaged to Chao, and they will both leave the academy, and they both fall for the story. So Chisame uses her artifact, but Ayaka and Make manage to tag along. They get teleported into what seems like the ocean. Negi, Yue, Ku, and Nadoka hide in a trolley, while Kaede and Haruna hide in another one to avoid Mana sniping at them. Mana shoots at the trolley, and with Negi holding the Cassiopeia, him, Yui, Negi, Ku seemingly get teleported away, but a moment later they appear where they got shot. Kaede tells Negi to leave Mana to her, and Mana reveals that Chao is motivated by the numerous tragedies happening all around the globe every day. She allows Negi and his group to leave while Kaede stays to fight against Mana. So, Negi and his group fight against 3 Chachamaru sisters. Haruna and Ku stay behind to fight them as Negi, Yue, and Nadoka go to fight Chao. Nadoka gets shot with one of the special bullets and gets transported away. and Negi is now ending with Yue. Uh, so Chisame, Ayaka, and Make are in cyberspace. Their physical bodies are in the real world, but their minds are in cyberspace. Chisame also gets 7 electron sprites server. She then tells Ayaka and Make that this is all a game, and they believe her. So, Chachimaru battles against Chisame in cyberspace using things like fish. Ayaka and Make help Chisame fight. On a rooftop, Negi wants to hear Yui's thoughts on this battle. And then Evangeline watches the battle from the air, and the headmaster actually joins her. While that happens, Mana and Kaede fight against each other, and the students are pretty much losing against the robot army so far. Chizune looks at the telescope and sees the blimp that Chao is on. Negi flies in and destroys one of the giant robots as they're losing against the robot army. So the students have found Chao on top of a blimp, and Asakura tells Negi that Chao is there. In the air, Negi gets attacked by multiple robots. Kotaro, Asuna, who is riding on Misora's broom, Setsuna, Takane, and Mei fight against them while Negi goes after Chao. Akase is actually the one doing the incantation. Both Negi and Chao, they fight, and they're teleporting behind each other. Chao has a Cassiopeia Unit 3 on her back, and then they go to a flashback where Yue and Negi have a philosophical debate about good and evil. Negi and Chao keep fighting, and Negi destroys the Cassiopeia Unit 3 that Chao has on her back. Chao tries different attacks on Negi, but they don't work. She then casts magic, which Negi thought she couldn't do. The headmaster wants to jump in on the battle against Chao, but Evangeline stops him. Negi sees glyphs, or these runes, all over Chao's body. Negi explains that those runes will cast a huge strain over her body. So, the final attack, they both incant this powerful spell, and Negi wins out. At the end of the volume, Chao gets hit badly in the head and looks to be out. She's in midair, and she's just kind of falling in midair. So, some of my thoughts. Chao is interesting in that she's antagonist, but not a true villain. Doesn't seem she wants to truly hurt or kill anybody. And her overall plan is the betterment of mankind, in her opinion. It's just that her methods are questionable, and that's where this whole debate about good and evil gets touched upon a lot here. In the end, seeing that Negi is a protagonist, I think that they want the viewer to feel that Negi is truly on the side of good here. It's a bit questionable, they get into this big philosophical debate about it. Is Chao doing anything that's really that bad? Maybe Negi's the bad guy for stopping Chao. The students versus the robot army was just amazing. Honestly, this volume and just this idea, it's really ambitious. It's wow, you actually got a way to get all of the students, all of the teachers to fight against this robot army against impossible odds. It truly makes for a pretty epic battle. You just watch it, it's wow, that's pretty cool actually. Chao versus Negi, the one-on-one battle, was a great battle of experience and smarts. The way they teleport behind each other, and Negi actually tells them how he's able to do it, and he really utilizes his intelligence. But then he also shows that he has more fighting experience than Chao. Chisame versus Chachimaru. That's interesting too, because they have this strange relationship / friendship. They're opponents here, but they're kind of friends too. It was just kind of funny in that it was pretty much a magical girl battle happening in cyberspace. Um, Kaede versus Mana is cool too. They're both, you can tell they're both quite potent and powerful. Mana is like totally aware of how strong Kaede is and is careful not to like waste bullets on her. So that's pretty cool too. So on to volume 18. At the beginning of the volume, Chao is falling from the sky and Negi rescues her. The forced recognition spell gets activated. While flying, Negi seems to lose all his entry and free falls down with Chao. Chao tries to use the last of her power to protect Negi, so the forced recognition spell is officially activated, but Hakase sees something that seems off. In cyberspace, Chisame gets the Academy firewall to come back on. Chao wakes up on top of a flying Chao Z train with a few Class 3A students with her. The giant robots disappear, and the forced recognition spell became harmless once Negi defeated Chao. Turns out that Chachimaru allowed Chisame to break through once Negi defeated Chao. It's revealed that if Chao lost, the content of the force recognition spell changes from revealing the existence of magic to may the world be a place of peace without the hate or sadness, or without hate or sadness for one day. Negi wakes up and Chao concedes defeat and that she can't defeat the girls of 3A. Everyone who got shot with the special billets end up at a field just outside of the World Tree. Turns out that they weren't transported 3 hours into the future, but right before the post-festival party on the final day of the festival. Everyone celebrates at the post-festival party. There's like these pillars there too. So Chao and Negi kind of talk on these like really tall pillars. Um, it's revealed that the runes on Chao's body were placed there forcibly. Uh, Chao then uses the Cassiopeia Unit 2 to time travel to the future, but Negi stops her. Ku, Satsuki, Chachimaru, and Hakase go to the top of some of the, like there's 3 pillars, so they go to the top of the like other 2 pillars, while the students who know about magic are kind of watching below, like Chisame, Setsuna, and all them. Negi suggests to Chao to live in this time and become a Magister Magi along with him. Chao, though, refuses and says she's going home. She reveals that she has a book of her family tree, and the students try to get it and read it because she's a descendant of Negi. Chao then leaves. There's some shenanigans, and then Chao then leaves by flying up like pretty much this beam of light with the bus that she got from Ayaka and a large package of gifts. Chao leaves Chaobaozi to Satsuki. She tells Chachimaru that she's now a free unit. Tells Hakase to take care of the over-technology of the future, and tells Ku that they'll spar again. Evangeline and the headmaster are looking on as this happens, and then she yells, probably won't pronounce it well, but it's Zaijan to Negi. Asuna apparently burned that book, and the Mahora festival officially ends. Um, so next chapter, like they're deep inside Library Island on the second day of school, yeah, of the school holiday after the Mahora festival. Negi, Asuna, Kanoka, and Setsuna are underground in front of a large door with a dragon guarding. Negi shows the dragon an invitation, and they're allowed in. They visit Kuno's lair, and Evangeline is there also for a tea party. Kuno reveals to Negi that his father is still alive but doesn't know where he is. The proof he shows is his Pactio card, which is still intact. Kuno suggests to Negi to go back to Wales, and that's where the Mundus Magicus gateway to the magical world is. The rest of Negi's group comes to the tea party. That knows that like he like can do magic and he's a wizard. Back in class, in Negi's class roster, Chao writes him like a farewell message. In class, Misora suggests to stop by and confess at the church. There are then shenanigans with Misora pretending to be a priest in the confessional booth as everyone, including Negi, confesses big secrets to her. So Misora and Kokone get in trouble with Sister Shakti. The next chapter features Akira Kochi, that is in silent movie format. Next chapter after that, Negi sends a video message to Nakane One-chan. It's been 6 months since Negi came to Japan. He tells her that he'll come home during the summer break. Final exams are coming up. Negi determines that Class 3A will get the lowest score in the grade. Negi then trains with Kotaru at Evangeline's resort. Afterwards, the Baka Rangers stay after class to study. Negi reveals to Asuna that before the summer break ends, he plans to go to Wells. He also says that maybe he won't come back. He asks Asuna to come with him as his partner. Haruna, Nadoka, and Yue overhear their conversation. They volunteer to go with Negi. And then back to class. Class 3A ends up getting second place in the grade. And at the end of the volume, the classroom is shown as empty. And it's the start of summer break. So some thoughts on volume 28. The end of the Chow conflict finally happened. Man, it was quite a ride. Not gonna lie. With the Mahora Festival and all that. The robot army versus the Mahora students. It's kind of sad, you know. It's too bad that Chow is officially gone from Class 3A. The payouts, it's pretty sweet, you know, because she turned out to be a dreamer and a good person, you know. It's like if she failed, she would still do good, you know. So the payout was a bit sweet, kind of bittersweet at the same time, just because Chow leaves. Like, she had the option of becoming, you know, maybe staying there, becoming a Magister Magi, but that didn't happen. The other thing with Chow, it makes me think though, like, continuing on with like Negi's adventures is like, if Chow was there, you know, and just how like powerful she is, it's like Negi and his team would be invincible with Chow. You know, that's what I'm thinking. You know, um, so but yeah, she's gone. Um, so one of the other themes that's really brought up in here is Negi constantly moving forward. He's only 10, so he comes across as a lot older and mature. I mean, at least we know his motivations and goals as it regards his father. So, you know, him going to Wales, it's just this constant thing. He's always moving forward. He doesn't really sit in one place, you know. Um, so it looks like that's where we're going. It looks like that's the next big story arc for Negima, actually, and I think they mentioned the magical world. Um, Negi has his party with, you know, they all have different skills and abilities, and it seems like Negi is just getting a lot stronger too. Uh, you know, we got to see some of the other characters here. Misora, she's really funny. She's very mischievous. Got some spotlight on Akira. She seems nice, quiet, strong when she needs to be, and that's kind of it with her, you know. So on to volume 19. In the beginning of the volume, we are shown a young Nagi, Aishun, and Ao fighting against giant monsters. Nagi is trying to rescue the Prince of Twilight, who turns out to be a young Asuna. Asuna then wakes up and seems to remember something. Looking for Kanoka, Asuna sees her and Setsuna right about to make a pactio. Asuna sees Ayaka about something. Asuna then shows Negi an application for a new club request. The purpose and goal of the club is to help Negi find his father and make sure Negi comes back. Negi will be the faculty advisor. It's temporarily called Club Negima. Asuna goes to Evangeline about the club, and Evangeline agrees to be an honorary advisor. Asuna wanted to use the resort as a clubhouse, and Evangeline apparently added new like resorts for Negi's training. So there's like the resort, and there's like this jungle place, a desert place, a snow mountain, and whatnot. Asuna wants to be the chairman to the club, but Evangeline disagrees. Evangeline gives Negi a test to become uh, the chairman, but Asuna has to be able to land a single blow on Negi in combat within 15 minutes for Asuna to win, and Asuna loses badly to Negi. We then see Asuna on a snowy mountain range. Negi and Kotaro are there, and they tell her to use the kankaho. She then uses it and doesn't get cold. In a flashback, Asuna accepts Evangeline's training, so that's why she's in the mountain. So with Negi and Kotaro helping Asuna, they make a cave with a bath in it. Evangeline appears and tells Negi and Kotaro that they cannot help her anymore, and she gives Asuna a bell, and if she rings it, then the training is over. Evangeline also takes Asuna's Harrison fan and Pactio card. Asuna thinks that without the Pactio card that she cannot perform the Kankaho. Evangeline tells her to try and see if she can remember. Asuna ends up falling asleep in the cave, which is really cold. Meanwhile, Ku fights against one of Haruna's golems and wins easily. Yue shows off her improved skill in magic. In a flashback, a young Takamichi is asking a young Asuna about giving him pointers on using Kankaho. Asuna wakes up and she is apparently using Kankaho and didn't even know it. Asuna suffers through the training but does not give up. She even throws the bell away. Meanwhile, Chisame is shown relaxing. Kanoka has improved her healing abilities. Ku is also getting stronger. Nodoka and Yue just finished 78 hours of study. Asakura, Sayo, Chachimaru, and Chisame stop by the resort. Chamo reveals a chart that shows how much everyone loves Negi. They end up burning it. Asuna makes it through 7 days. The 7 days of training. Evangeline gives her back her sword and the Pactio card. Evangeline then takes Asuna as her disciple. So, we're shown a chapter featuring Yuna Akashi. She loves her father, Professor Akashi, who looks to be secretly researching Fate Avarunkus. Excuse me. Professor Akashi drops a picture of a blonde woman. He then gets a call from her and is speaking to her in English. He then seemingly has a date with this blonde woman while Yuna, Akira, Aka, and Make kind of just follow and stalk them. The blonde woman confirms that Chao Lingshan had no connection to Fate Avarunkus. She tells him that the situation involving Herman infiltrating the academy is tied to Fate Avarunkus. Make and Aka approach the two and introduce themselves. There's a flashback with Yuna and her mother. Yuna is holding a small wand in this flashback. The next day, Yuna takes her father out on a date. They run into the blonde woman. Turns out to just be friends and was a friend of Yuna's mother. Afterwards, we're introduced to a bunch of short stories. We see Sayo twirling her pencil in the classroom, wanting a friend. Mana goes to the movies and runs into Kaede. At the resort, Chamo tells Yue that she should think about her activation key, which is a personalized combination that unlocks the pathway to magic. Hakase has made a new younger body for Chichimaru. Natsume observes Kotaro. Zaize Rainy Day and the weird monsters that follow her seemingly befriend Sayo in front of a convenience store. At the end of these stories, they all get together to light fireworks. Then we're shown that the headmaster has approved of Asuna's club. Evangeline asks Negi when he's going to leave, and he says in 2 weeks. He plans to gather information in the capital city of Megalomycembria and other areas of the magical world. He doesn't expect to find his father within the summer break. Chisame is listening in on their conversation. The twins listen in on them going to Wales. Evangeline seems to know that they listened in. Asuna meets with Ayaka. Ayaka has done an investigation on Nagi. The trail ends with Nagi having gone missing in Istanbul. Make and the twins run in and tell Ayaka about the new club that Asuna made and about them going to England or Wales. Evangeline is secretly lying on the couch listening in on this. They all try to apprehend Asuna, but she's too fast for them and runs off. Evangeline then tells them that she'll give them a chance to join the club. Yuna, Akira, and Ako kind of walk in on this conversation. Evangeline tells them all that the members of the new club are planning to attend the summer festival that night. wearing a pin shaped like a white feathered wing. Those who can take one of the pins can join the club. They try to take the pins but fail. Asuna explains to everyone that they have to help Negi find his father and to bring him back. At the end of the volume, we see Anya Kokolova getting off a plane, Negi's childhood friend. So, thoughts on Volume 19. This volume establishes temporary name, Team Negima, and them getting ready to go to Wales. The new club, it's now they just have a name. Like, this group has been established beforehand. Everyone has their own class, and their own fighting abilities and artifacts and whatnot. The training at times is pretty comical, to be honest with you. It seems like Asuna has some really strong latent ability. Asuna's memories are interesting as she has strong ties to Nagi and seemingly the magical world. Evangeline and Kuno seem to know something about her. The short stories were fun. Zaize Rainy Day, I have to say, is one of the more interesting and mysterious characters. Just the fact that she can see Sayo, and she has these weird monsters with her. There's actually a previous volume, I think when Negi's fighting Chao, where she's just with her monsters, and you see just one scene of just her looking up at the sky, and it's like, what is with this girl? Like, she can see Sayo, she has weird monsters with her. Like, what is with her? We know nothing about her except she does like acrobatics. Well, in volume 20, the volume starts with a good majority of class 3A at the beach. Ayaka tells them that she plans a vacation in England this summer. Those not in Club Negima want to go with Ayaka, and Ayaka says that they can. Negi is walking along the beach with Asuna, and Nadoka and Yui spy on them. Anya appears before the two, very unhappy. Anya tries to jump kick them, but misses Negi and Asuna. She tells Negi that she's there to take him back home. Anya, Negi, and Chamo have dinner together while the class watches secretly. The class breaks through the door to the room, and Anya introduces herself. She's jealous of all the women that Negi has in his class. Shenanigans then happen with Anya around in the hotel that they're all staying. Negi ends up kissing Chisame while he's asleep. In the next chapter, Club Negima is at Evangeline's resort. Negi is fighting Setsuna for training. Setsuna wins, but Anya is surprised about how good Negi has gotten. Anya is surprised how strong just everyone in the club is. Yui then tells Anya that Evangeline is their teacher. Nadoka and Yui tell Anya how many Pactio cards Negi has made, and Anya runs away. Negi tells Anya that he's training to find his father and that he plans to go back to Wales and then the magical world. He then asks Anya to join him, and she agrees. Everyone prepares to leave. Chisame seemingly does not want to join them and asks Negi if he can just stay and have fun at home. Evangeline fights against Asuna for training. Asuna manages to cut Evangeline's cheek, and Evangeline freezes her. Kitaru and Chachimaru also come along with Negi. At the airport, Chisame comes and joins them. They all fly to Wales. Some short episodes happen. You see like the twins, Natsume, Chizune, Yuna, Make, Akira, Ako, Kakizaki, Kugamiya, and Sakurako go to England in Ayaka's plane. Evangeline talks to Kuno, and they talk about Asuna's background. Ayaka's group finds Negi's group in London. Kanoko tells Ayaka that they plan to visit Negi's old home. They meet with Miss McGinnis, who was Yuna's, the blonde woman that was friends with Yuna's father. Negi refers to her as Donette, and they all go to Negi's village in Wales. At the village, Negi reunites with his sister. He introduces his students to her, and they all visit places like Negi's old school and where he used to train. That night, Negi tells his sister he's going to the magical world, and that he's looking for his father. We are introduced to an old man that Negi refers to as Grandpa. He's going to help him get to the magical world. Grandpa takes Negi to an underground area It's like a basement where they kept all the statues of those who got turned to stone. Negi sees the statue of Mr. Stan. Anya, Nadoka, Yue, Asuna, Kanoka, Setsa, and Chisame go down there to see the statues. We see a scene where Anya is cleaning the statue of her mother. Ayaka and her group overhear Negi talking about waking up early tomorrow. They're not supposed to follow them. Probably do. Donat tells them to wear certain robes for the lodge and from the lodge and leave. Before they leave for the gate, Ayaka appears before Asuna. Ayaka says she won't follow them and lets them leave without her. But the rest of the class, in capes, follow Negi and his group. The ones that weren't supposed to follow him. Donut tells them that common folk cannot reach the gate. So it's actually kind of interesting because the rest of Negi's class was able to. They end up at this like Stonehenge looking place. I don't know if it is Stonehenge. Might be. And they just kind of wait. Anya bumps into someone, and it turned out to be Fate Avarunkus. But no one sees him. Anya just bumps into him, too. She doesn't actually see his face. Negi, feels an unusual presence. Some of the other students, like Make and Yuna, have followed them there, despite that normal people can't go there. And the ground starts to glow, and they get transported to the magical world. It appears that some of those students that followed them also got transported. They end up at a gate port in the magical world. Negi is required to store his weapons in a magical box until he can get a permit to use them. I think that goes for everyone else too. Donette tells Negi that they have stowaways, and they are Make, Yuna, Akira, and Akko. Negi senses something dangerous and makes some quick preparations. And Fate Avarunkus is surprised that Negi can sense him. At the end of the volume, Negi gets stabbed through the chest by this large, like, spike spear thing. So thoughts on volume 20? The Return of Fate Avarunkus. I mean, this is the guy. You know, he's been looming about. We haven't actually seen him for a lot of volumes, especially with the Mahora Festival happening and Chow being like the major antagonist for such a long time. Fate was always there, or around. You know, he never left. He didn't get defeated or anything. He did, you know, after that thing in was it Kyoto? He just kind of he fought Evangeline and then just kind of went away. We know his power is immense. Now he's pretty much like the specter looming over Negi and his team. You know, it's like here's a guy, here's a villain. He's super strong, and Negi's probably gonna have to fight this guy. So they're in the magical world right now. It's a new setting for Negi and his group. You know, you can expect new challenges, friends, and enemies. Um, a lot should happen. I mean, it's a whole new world. You know, uh, and just a setting for so much to happen. With the stowaways, I mean, there are more students that know that Negi is a wizard that can use magic now. I don't really know what role that'll play yet, but you can. I mean, let's face it, everyone that finds out that Negi is a wizard makes a pact deal with him. You know, a probationary contract with him. I think it can be assumed that he'll be making probationary contracts with some of these characters, and possibly even characters that are with his group that haven't made a probationary contract with them. If that's the case, we're going to see some new abilities from these students. You know, Negi went back to his home village. That was neat. Stone statues in like that basement. It's pretty alarming. Just kind of reaffirmed why Negi is doing what he is doing. Um, in my opinion, I think Anya clearly likes Negi. She's a fun character. She's pretty insecure though. Evangeline is also pretty interesting too. She's one of the more compelling characters, and she's been one of the more compelling characters of the series because we know she's really strong. She's doesn't always get directly involved in the main conflict. She just kind of Like with the Chow thing, she just kind of observes. She helps, but she doesn't. I mean, she funded the tournament, but for the most part, like, and when the one time she did help in Kyoto, I mean, she just like cleaned house, you know. So she's like almost too powerful to help. She would just be like a Deus Ex Machina character, pretty much at this point. So yeah, she's resigned to just helping and whatnot. She's obviously powerful, very sadistic, and while her methods are very intense, she definitely has a method to her madness. So, yeah, that's pretty much all for today. If you like this, don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you're on YouTube, or follow this channel if you're listening to this on SoundCloud, iTunes, or Podbean. Thank you for listening to these manga reviews. A lot of what I write, especially when it comes to fantasy, is inspired through anime and manga and stuff like that. Next week, I will review volumes 21 through 24 and also read pages 1 to 3 of my fantasy short story, The Wizard, the Shadow, and the Tree. So, thank you, and until next time.